Mic check, 2 J's hit the stage like thunder. Friendship, solid rock, no cracks, no blunders. Navigating life round the kids and the hustle. 30s hit hard, but we flex in the muscle. 2 J's in a pod where the truth gets spilled. Real talk kings, every vibe gets fulfilled. Dads by day, on the mic we just kill. Friendship eternal, we keep it too real. Jason got the sagas, Johnny rolling with the truth. Convos hit deeper than the roots of our youth. Bar for bar, it's a therapy sesh we supply. Navigators of the vibe, no cap, no lie. Topics ain't safe, from diapers to dilemmas. Dealing with drama or revisiting tremors. Podcasts, waves hit sharp, slice like katana. Real dads, real men, hotter than a sauna. A journey of milestones, we live and we laugh. 2 J's, 2 mics, no scripts, no drafts. From midnight feeds to battles.
All right, welcome to 2 J's in the pod. What up, Jason?
What's up, Johnny?
We're in a new location in La Baticueva.
Yeah, we got a temporary studio. All Sports is moving, so we're in the middle of a transition.
But as right now, we're coming to you from the Baticueva, my man cave,
Johnny's
aka
man cave
office.
Yeah, and I wanted to, especially it's been a few weeks since we haven't put out episodes, so there's been a lot of stuff going on. So we've been pretty busy, but I still wanted to put out a podcast and kind of put some content out there. June is Men's Mental Health Month.
That's right.
So for sure we wanted to record something and put something out there and kind of shed some light on that stuff.
Yep, that's right. No, I was thinking I have a little stand for you.
A little stand?
Yeah, that you could pick it up and go down.
I'm cool right here.
All right. I'm just trying to, I forgot about that. I knew I needed to bring something. But anyways, it's good to be back. I love the last 2 episodes. Thank you for Dominico
and Lehigh.
Sure. Yeah, but Dominico showed up too.
Yeah.
Appreciate it. Kicking some ass in the bare knuckle fighting.
That dude's an animal. So if you haven't heard that podcast, go back and listen to it. He shares a lot about his just MMA. He's an MMA fighter, bare knuckle, just an overall positive dude. So we had a good conversation, and he talked a lot about his ups and downs and his experiences in that situation. So it's a good listen.
Right. Who doesn't have ups and downs?
Yeah, I think we all do, right? And one thing that I always share, and even with people around me, I always talk about how there are no losses. The downs, I feel teach you things, and you learn so much from, and you grow so much from. And I feel for some reason, life just puts men around me that are going through tough experiences, and so I've had a couple new people that I've met, new friends that kind of are going through something similar that I've gone through, which is just ups and downs of life. And so I'm able to shed light and kind of share my perception and my story and my experiences with them to kind of help them through their difficult times. And I look at it as one of the reasons why I've experienced those downs, I've experienced those hardships, those tough times, to be able to shed light on that and speak on those experiences. Because, it's one thing, somebody telling you, oh, everything's going to be okay, the typical thing. But if somebody can share oh, I've gone through the exact same thing. Oh, I've felt that exact same thing, and shed some light on that and share that experience, I think it's awesome for men to be open and to be able to, have those conversations.
That is so true. I mean, we always go over this and we say that it's not easy to open up, especially for men. But since it's June, what is it today? June, and it's Men's Mental Health Month.
Yeah.
And go ahead. Sorry.
And so with that, I wanted to just touch on some statistics, which, I think we all know. Men's mental health and like the men's suicide rate is a problem. So just some statistics that I wanted to share. 1 in 10 men experience depression or anxiety, but fewer than half seek treatment. What do you think about that?
Yeah, that's so true. I mean, I always say that in our culture and in so many cultures, even when I go to counseling, they specify that it's hard for men to be open and seek help. So I could see that.
Yeah, I think we're told and taught to just suppress those emotions and put those deep down inside somewhere. And I think that's just a ticking time bomb, and a lot of like your actions and experiences will reflect that if you're just suppressing those emotions and not talking to somebody or even facing those feelings and those emotions.
It is so true. I remember when I reached my breaking point. Have you ever reached the breaking point, Jay?
Yeah, several times.
Yeah. Well, mine was the first one, and I mean, I had several, but this one was the most major one. I remember having my first panic attack. I felt like it was like a big anxiety attack. I felt like I was having a heart attack, and I couldn't breathe. And it was kind of embarrassing because it happened at work, so they had to call the ambulance. But I never seek help after that. I mean, I saw a little bit, but I was never, how you call it, always being, you know how you say it. Oh my God.
You're just always told to just push forward, keep going, and it's kind of all swept under the rug. Another statistic is men die by suicide 3.9 times more often than women do.
Yeah.
And I think society has a big thing to do with that. When I talk to, like I said, friends and people around me, that like a lot of the problems stem from relationships and marriages is the big thing. I was talking to somebody that is actually going through a divorce right now, and just having those conversations and speaking about like the difficulty of those separations. And I think men in general kind of get the short end of the stick. I could be biased.
No. I mean, I came from a very bad divorce, so we do get the bad end of the stick. But you know that men could die of a broken heart as well. Statistically speaking, that it's been a study saying that men could die of a broken heart. That's crazy too, huh?
Yeah. I feel like all those situations are tough. And I think for men, we're always like, normally like the providers. And when a divorce happens or a separation happens, we're always stuck with like the financial burden the majority of the time.
Yeah, and that kind of breaks you too, because most of the time, or the majority of the time, um, the kids go with the wife. Going through those custody battles, fighting for custody, fighting for alimony, child support. It's a total drain.
Yeah. It's definitely something tough that men deal with. And so then we're stuck in a spot where it's like, do you really want to get a divorce and go through all that? Do you just stay in those crappy situations?
I remember the old school people from my generation, not me, but like the older people, baby boomers, they say, you know why divorce is so expensive?
Why?
Because they're worth it. But that was their joke, but I don't think it's worth it. Yeah, I don't think so either. But they say, I mean, I don't know, Jay. A veces dicen que prefiero estar solo que mal acompañado too. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, for sure.
So, I mean, it goes both ways, but I went through that process and it was horrible. And then the ones that end up suffering the most are your kids, because they had to go through some adaptations and new arrangements and everything like that. So
for sure.
So imagine that shock that they go through, and they're in that process of developing stages and stuff like that.
Right. Yeah, it's a whole mess to try to like navigate all those situations. But if you are going through something like that, just keep your head up. Me and Johnny have been through that situation, and I feel like even though it gets difficult and there's definitely tough times and dark times, I promise you things get better, and and everything.
There is light at the end of the tunnel. I've seen it
Yeah.
several times, and Jason knows. Remember, bring your own chairs.
Yeah.
You see me how I live, but I did that in a purpose because I knew if I, when I lived in an apartment, if I would like fix it up, make it nice, I would be complacent and say, you know what, I'm okay. But no, that will make me a reminder of keep on moving. And I have fallen so many times, and it's hard. But I'm happy that I'm doing this podcast with you because this is like another form of therapy for me.
Yeah, for sure. And it is for me too. And I think like the biggest thing I get from this podcast is the people that do listen, that I talk to, obviously enjoy like the content and the things that we talk about, and like the focus on men's mental health. And we also have fun sometimes talking about, not everything is super dark and sad news, but I think that there definitely needs to be a light shed on that, especially with podcasts. There's a lot of podcasts out there where it's just fun and like, interesting things, but someone needs to shed light on also the difficult times. And so that's like my main purpose for doing this. And that's what I enjoy, is having these conversations. I could talk for hours about mental health and struggles and how, changing your perception of life and how things happen and the reason why things happen is my biggest motivator.
Yeah, I hear you. Like I said, I like surrounding myself with positive people, people that don't bring that negative energy. So I'm like, my circle's becoming smaller and smaller to the point where I enjoy being by myself sometimes.
Yeah, I mean, I'm in the same boat. I think that, my circle's been small for a long time.
Since I know you, I got lucky that I made the cut.
Yeah, I keep a small circle just for that reason. And even, in work and everything, I try to keep it professional and make sure I'm aware of who I'm around and what I'm dealing with and what I'm experiencing.
I'm in Jason's circle with 1 foot in and 1 foot out.
Yeah, it's true.
I've been going through some shit too, but Jason's always been there for me, so I appreciate it, Jay.
Yeah, no problem, dude. And we talk we talk about
okay.
like mental health struggles, and I know Johnny struggles and
we could edit that out.
No, it's
I
alright.
forgot to get you some water.
I'm over here choking. That's fine.
Did I call somebody room service?
Johnny's been going through some stuff, and so I've just tried to be there and be supportive, but also like I try not to let Johnny fall into like the deep hole of like what his depression is and those different issues, just because if you make like depression and anxiety part of your personality, and it like you're like, for me, that's why I don't like labeling myself as like, oh, I deal with depression or I deal with anxiety, or because I feel like once I'm like, oh, I'm depressed, then my life is going to turn into that. So I don't necessarily like to label myself, but I'm aware of when I'm feeling a certain way, and I know the things that I need to do to make myself feel better. For me, like sometimes I'll wake up and I won't feel happy, right? And so I know I'm like, oh, I should go on a run, I should go on a hike, I should go outside or the gym or a motorcycle ride, whatever. Like all these things that I enjoy, that I experience, I'll focus on like, hey, I got to make time to do one of these things.
No, I hear you. And me going down on my bike, on my motorcycle, it's been very, very, very hard for me, because that was one thing that I would just get on my bike and, when I was able to ride, it'll take a toll on me, but it was something that was relaxing, and especially when they took forever to fix my car. The only next mobility that I had was my motorcycle,
Yeah, and for me that's been hard too, because I have you and Ronnie that I go riding with, so Johnny being out of the game for a while, then it doesn't give me very many options, which I go on motorcycle rides alone all the time, but it's a different experience when you go out with friends and you guys go on like adventures and some of the stuff like that we did. Like it's just funny to do it as a group, but
a small group.
Yeah.
No, dude, I want to, I'm kind of getting sad right now, but I want to talk about some good things too. I know, are you talking about motorcycle and I missed it? Well, you went to, what was it called? The
Oh,
Swarm?
the Swarm.
How was that? I know
Dude,
you told me, but tell the audience.
yeah. So here in Utah, locally, there's a stunt crew, right? Professional motorcycle stunt riders, and they're called the Hive Crew. And once a year, they'll have this. It's like a whole weekend event where they get together and they just go on like a motorcycle ride through. Normally it's like downtown Salt Lake and wherever they plan on going.
But it is a Swarm.
A Swarm, yeah. And so while this is going on, there's people doing wheelies and rolling burnouts and just like different stunts like out on the road. And yeah, I ended up going, like I said, all weekend. So it was a 3-day event. I went the first day and I've never gone to one of those. So it was my first time. So I was pretty excited. And here's the thing.
And you never want to go to one of those things.
Yeah. And the thing is that nobody wanted to go with me. Johnny was already out. Ronnie, I don't know, he was working or something. So I didn't have anybody to go with.
You didn't want to give me a ride in the back.
Yeah. Johnny was going to be my backpack. But I went out there and just started like talking to people and meeting people, and everybody's super cool and chill. And we ended up going out on this ride and went through downtown Salt Lake. And there was probably, I'm not even exaggerating when I'm saying like 400 maybe motorcycles. Like I'm talking motorcycles as far as like my eye could see, and I have good eyesight.
Right. I'm blind as a bat. But no, I'm not. But it was crazy, huh? A lot of 5-0 there too.
Yeah, as soon as we got out of the parking lot and got onto like the main roads, Salt Lake City Police was there, and they just turned their lights on. And so they had instructions before we went out. They're like, the cops are going to show up. Just don't pull over. Be respectful. Just keep riding. Obviously, I mean, myself, I wasn't breaking the law, but there was a lot of people that were like doing wild things. Like I said, rolling wheelies or rolling donuts and wheelies and all kinds of stuff. And so for me, I was just there to cruise around. And so we went out and cops showed up and they were just following us like where we were going with their lights on, not trying to like necessarily stop anybody or pull anybody over, right?
ICE was not involved?
No, I don't think so. Luckily, I wasn't too worried about that. But then I told you this part, the first day, the whole group we were riding for like an hour and a half, and obviously people need to stop for gas, right? So the group stops, and I'm telling you, there's hundreds of motorcycles into this little gas station, this little 7-Eleven. And so people park, and like whoever needs gas is getting gas, and everybody's just chilling there. I was there for like a minute, maybe 2, and I have the footage on my GoPro, but I'm not going to share it with anybody.
Wow. Not even with me?
You've already seen it.
Oh, okay.
We pull up to this gas station, and so I park, and the few minutes later, Highway Patrol pulls up, blocks my motorcycle in, and everybody's jumping on their motorcycles trying to get out of there. And so I put my helmet on, jump on the motorcycle, and as I'm doing all this, like I said, he blocked me in, so I'm having to push my motorcycle back in order to get around him, to get out. And I push my motorcycle back, and as I'm doing that, the UHP officer comes out and tackles the dude that was parked next to me. Like the dude's taking off, the cop tackles him, throws him off his motorcycle. And so I'm like freaking out, and I'm like, oh no.
I'm next.
Yeah, exactly. I thought I was next. And so I'm like trying to start my motorcycle. I finally started, and I like go through and got out of there luckily, but it was definitely an adrenaline rush. And so I ended up going back like the second and third day too.
Nice.
But there wasn't anything crazy that happened those times. It was just like fun and people having a good time.
Yeah, I really felt really bummed out because I wasn't able to participate. I'm still bummed out because I can't participate and I'm still limited. But one thing that I do want to talk about is motorcycle safety. People, when you see, make sure that you pay attention. Be safe, be courteous to bike riders, motorcycle riders. We don't have airbags. one wrong move and we might not be here to do another podcast, or to see tomorrow, because it's just like the center divider is just for you to really go in and stop and do what you're going to do, not to write it. And I've seen a lot of people lately writing the middle divider, that's how I got hit. We have a couple people that we know or acquaintances that have fallen recently. And people are, I don't know, they just get mad. I mean, with the motorcycle, you have a lot of freedom to split lanes and stuff like that, and people get jealous. But it's permissible by law. The reason why they do that or they let us do it is because they don't want us to get rear-ended,
sandwiched in between two cars.
Yeah, or most of the time, people are distracted, texting on their phones, just listening to music or talking on the phone, or just distracted, and they don't pay attention, and boom, there it is, I mean, last year I got rear-ended, this year I got front-ended. Could you believe that?
Damn, so you took it in the front and in the back?
Oh, damn, that sounds personal, Jason. Wow.
I thought you were outing yourself.
No, I'm talking about getting hit by cars, man.
Oh, okay.
I got hit on my car in the back, rear-ended. And then on my motorcycle, I got front-ended.
Gotcha. All right.
Yeah, man. And
I know some people that have experienced the same thing.
oh, dude, it's kind of, I'm seeing it more and more, and I see like reels and stuff like that of people going through road rage, and they're like, motorcycle has more to lose, so I don't try to have road rage when I'm riding, because if I get mad with a car,
My road rage is just pulling that throttle back and getting out of there.
Yeah, I try to book it now. I try to put distance, but that day, this construction in Utah, man, they always have something going on. And that day was, it's crazy how we were ending our day, our ride, and suddenly going to the shop, it was traffic hour.
Yeah. I mean, we were literally like a minute or two away from the shop. So
yeah, but it is what it is. Thank God. I have a good attorney, and they took liability of it. But that's another story. But motorcycle safety, please be conscious. Be courteous to the people that are in the motorcycle. Don't get jealous. You should join us.
yeah, you think it's jealousy?
Yeah, I see it. Like a couple of times when I'm lane splitting, I see cars like close in instead of open. I open up, but they or they go forward. And that's what happened to me. I was just waiting for me to merge I was in the medium, waiting to merge, and nobody will give me a chance. And the other person just took the whole medium, which she shouldn't have. She should have stopped in the medium and, wait to merge, but she took the whole medium. So she didn't see me, and that's when she hit me.
Yeah.
And I talked to my friends at Harley, and they said that's the worst lane you could ever be in.
Yeah, definitely. I've gotten in car accidents doing that. And so it's definitely not the business. But speaking about Harley, have they give you an update on the motorcycle?
No, I actually, the insurance finally sent me the update or their estimate. They left a lot of shit out, but Harley's about to do their estimate this week, and they say they're very booked. Yeah, they're super booked. There's so many motorcycles, and then there's no shops that deal with motorcycle repairs or anything like that. But why not go where they make them? Harley.
Yeah, I think with motorcycles it's different than cars, because cars, they'll try to repair like whatever is broken, but I think motorcycles, they just replace everything.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is. But hopefully I get it before the summer ends.
Who knows? Because then they have to order parts, and then it's got to be color matched and all that. So it's probably going to take some time.
Right? I might as well buy a new one.
Might as well.
Right, whatever. I wish I was balling like that. But anyways, yeah, hopefully before I get my surgeries and I could ride for a couple, because I'm going to be down for a long time. But I would like to ride before I go through my surgeries.
Get some rides in for sure.
right? And I took advantage of a lot of stuff with my bike. How about some crazy stuff, man? Did you see that airplane that fell today out of the sky?
I did see that.
242 people and one survived. That's crazy.
One survived. That was a explosion, so I don't know how they survived or what condition they're going to be in. But
No, he walked out. It's in the internet. He's
man.
walking now like all hurt, but that is crazy. That's why I hate flying, dude.
yeah, I mean, I think statistically, you're probably pretty safe in an airplane.
I think I'm pretty safe just right here in my bat cave in La Baticueva and just being away from everybody.
Yeah, Johnny's trauma for sure.
Oh, I have a lot of no. I just lately I noticed that I don't want to go out. Like the only time I go out, Jason, you knew, it's when I was riding my bike.
Yeah,
And then when we used to be able to go play basketball and do other shit like shoot,
yeah. I feel like, I mean, I like being at home too, but man, I get stir crazy. I can't be at home for too long.
Especially when I'm like here, my serenity and my peaceful and just being by myself or just being able to like enjoy my shows. I mean, I'm aware of what's going around my house, but it's just time for myself, and then it gives my wife time to be by herself, So I think everybody should always have like a hobby room or a room that you could.
Or just hobbies in general.
Yeah.
Just your own space.
Yeah, it's good because like my wife likes to see like novelas or La Rosa de Guadalupe.
That's rough.
I don't like to see that.
Yeah, that's rough.
I want to see some sports like the NBA final. What do you think about the NBA finals?
I haven't watched one bit.
But that's crazy that we have two new teams.
Contenders.
Teams, yeah. We have the Oklahoma City Thunders and the Indiana Pacers.
Yeah.
And Oklahoma's playing. I'm happy. I mean, I'm happy that they eliminated Minnesota because they eliminated my Lakers. Now I'm just paying attention to my boys in blue.
Dang. That's good. Yeah. Johnny's repping today.
That's right. Oh, I went to my friend forced me kind of to go to the Mexico game.
Uh-huh.
They lost 4-2.
How was that?
That was pretty cool. I'm lucky that my caramel skin, I don't really get sunburn. And my friend, yeah, it was hot. And my friend, I told him, take some sunblock. Nope. He didn't pay attention. Ni quemado como un camarón. Fluorescent orange.
That's rough.
Yeah, fuck that. Yo me quemo con el skillet and that shit hurts. Imagine.
Yeah, I feel like, especially right now, like in the middle of summer, to go to sporting events that are outdoors is definitely risky. Especially because that one was in the middle of the day, which is even worse.
Yeah, it started at 2:00. Supposedly it was gonna be start at 7:00 at night, but since it's Pride Month too, I guess they changed it because downtown was crazy, and then what do you think about the riots and have you seen the riots in California?
Yeah, I mean, I think I don't know. I think I have like a controversial take on that. I just see that and I think like those people are just
adding fuel to the fire.
Yeah, and just giving like these immigrants like a bad name.
Yeah, I mean, it's getting crazy out there with this new administration and ICE, Like,
yeah, for sure.
They're gonna have a new. I'm reading in a lot of like news websites and stuff like that. They're having a World Cup for clubs, like from different clubs, and they're saying that ICE is gonna be part of the security detail. So,
yeah.
And imagine how many people are not gonna go.
Yeah, it's gonna affect a lot of stuff for sure.
I mean, it is what it is.
I mean, I think like it's great for, my parents are immigrants, right? And so I think that there's like, for me, that hits home. But I also see like looting and rioting isn't going to solve anything. You're just kind of showing people and the world exactly why there needs to be some sort of control.
Yeah, I mean, that I was disappointed. I mean, there's certain extent. I mean, I lived through the Ronnie King riots.
Uh-huh.
I lived in LA. I was just a city away. They got close to up to Huntington Park. That was the next city before me, but I was able to see the chaos and the disaster. That was crazy. But I think that was the whole city was burning. Here, they're just like little pockets. But I still think, and I was disappointed. Like, don't riot. You protest. Vote. If you could vote. Even though you think your vote might not count, it does count. I know. They need to change some shit.
For me, like being Hispanic, like I look and I'm like, if you really want to make a change,
Run for office.
do something. Go be a lawyer. Go, I don't know, do something productive. Don't burn the city down and just, like I said, prove everybody's point. That's like, oh, see, here they go again. Like burning the city down.
Right. I mean, yep.
And
like
that's
that
easier said than done, right? Because especially if you're looking for problems, it's like, oh yeah, they're gonna riot. Let's go. Especially in like,
if you're looking for those new Jordans.
Yeah, exactly. And they're like,
Or
oh,
that
well,
PS5.
I'm sure there's people that don't even care about immigration that are just out there like, let me get some, like a,
Desmadrosos.
Yeah, let me just
Yeah,
have some fun.
those people. You're not proving a point. You're proving the point of why they want us to deport us.
The other way,
So
yeah.
stop doing that, please. I know there's gonna be a big protest here in Utah. I heard something about it too.
I have no idea.
Really, you're not up to your daily updates?
No, where do they even post that? I don't know. I don't have a riot post.
Oh, you don't? You need to. I'll send you the
Follow
link.
Utah riots.
Yeah, Utah Desmadre.
Yeah.
That's my other website. No, I'm just kidding.
No, but it's like I said, proving a point. So you're just kind of like harming yourself and the people that you say you're trying to protect, and you're trying to. I mean, protest is fine, right? I think going out and speaking your voice, sure, that's great. But once you start doing negative things and harming, citizens and even immigrants themselves, like some of those businesses have to be, Hispanic owned business.
Yeah, that's so true too. And it sucks. I mean, they said that they were gonna go after criminals and everything like that. I get a little bit upset when they're going, like, especially in California, right? I grew up there, so you always know that there's a lot of people there at Home Depot looking for work.
Yeah.
And I mean, they're looking for work. They're not stealing. They're not doing anything. They're not looting. They're just there trying to get lucky and find work. Some of them, yeah, they're kind of iffy washy.
That's the thing. I mean, just because you're at Home Depot looking for work, though, doesn't mean that you're not doing criminal things on the weekends.
Yeah, that is so true.
So we don't know. I don't know either way, but I'm just saying, like.
But don't focus on the people that are at least trying to do some kind of work. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, sure. I agree with that. I think that obviously immigrants come into this country and I know plenty, being in management, you get to meet plenty of immigrants from all over the world that are really good workers and really good people. But then you also meet some that you're like, okay, I see why.
Yeah. I mean, I told you that I can't discuss the name of the company, but I was a manager, and my team was mostly Afghan refugees. There were some that were good and some that are like, oh, yeah, that's not going to happen.
Right.
And then they they try to play the racist card. I'm like, how could you even play the racist card? I almost look like you guys.
Yeah, exactly.
But
so,
anyways,
I think people, race and origin, like where they come from, has nothing to do with like their character. So I think that's the biggest thing is like their character and what they're willing to do. And like I said, I've met amazing people. Some of like my best workers are not from this country.
nice.
So I respect it. I just think that there's like different ways to go about it, and there's more productive things to do if you really want to be about that. If you're really that concerned about it, like I said, go to school, vote, like Johnny said, do something productive to be that change, not break into stores.
Yeah, a lot of people think that your votes don't count, but eventually they will, depending on how the migration happens and how people start thinking. That's why they sometimes they say they have purple states because they could go either way. Um, but like I said, just don't burn the city down unless everybody agrees to burn the city down. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, unless it's necessary.
Yeah, unless it's necessary. I mean, it's getting scary. I think this is our first time ever that we're gonna have a military parade. Did you hear? Did you hear
No,
that?
dude, what is going on? A military parade?
Yeah, like other countries, like other communist countries, like how China and Russia have these parades, and North Korea showing their mass armies and stuff like that. Weapons. So United States, our dear Mr. President, decided to have a military parade on Flag Day, which happens to be his birthday too. But he wants to show his big stick policy. And I think that's just wrong because you're wasting money.
Yeah. I mean, I don't agree with it either. I'm just like, you don't need a show. You know what I'm saying? If you're really about it, you don't need to talk about it.
Right. But I don't know, man. I don't like where our country's going. And could you believe for the first time too, Jay, that now there's more availabilities of homes to buy than buyers? It actually flipped after a while because rates haven't come down.
Right.
They're staying steady at the 6.5% ish, and and the property prices are going up. So many people don't qualify. I got lucky, because I follow the cycles. So just now you have to work hard and work at 3 jobs.
That's it.
Right. Well, did you hear too? I'm sorry, man. I haven't talked to you forever.
No, you're good.
California now, if you make $100,000 a year, you consider low income.
That's crazy.
Right. Imagine.
But I mean, it makes sense. In California, there's no other way. Even if you're making 100,000, like you're probably renting an apartment, if that.
Yeah, I remember. That's the reason why I left California, especially when you had to start all over. You can't start all over in California, man.
Yeah, that's definitely a rough state to be in. Even though like California, like the weather and everything is beautiful and it's definitely like a cool place, but
I just like going for vacation.
Yeah, for sure. Like when I do go out there, I'm stuck in that traffic and I'm like, oh, I miss Utah.
Right. And Utah's kind of getting like that, but I love it when you go out on Sundays. Sundays are the best days to go out.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, Utah's nowhere near. Luckily, I feel like, the only thing we have to deal with is so much construction, but
And
it's
bad drivers.
Yeah, but that's California too. It's anywhere.
No, actually not really, because you're always like bumper to bumper.
Yeah, but more than likely you're bumper to bumper because somebody had an accident up there.
Right. Well, anyway.
That was a few years ago. I was going from the hotel that we were at to the Santa Monica Pier. And before I left the hotel, I looked up at the GPS and I think like the pier was like 20 minutes away. And so
it took you like an hour and a half.
You jump in the car, get on the freeway, and then the GPS is like, it went from 20 minutes to like 45 to like an hour and 50. And I'm like, God damn.
Yeah.
I almost wanted to turn back around.
Yeah. And it'll be the same thing going back or going forward. That's why it's funny because California, when I go there, I plan to just maybe hit 2 spots and that's it. Like I can't go sightseeing. Like it has to be every other day, like I had to plan this and that's it, because I know going to the beach is going to take me about 2 hours to get there, and then coming back another 2 hours. So do something in the morning and then do something, that's your whole day.
Full schedule.
Dude, when I lived in California and I was living in the Inland Empire and I had to go to work to the Orange County by Irvine, I had to leave my house no later than, I think it was no later than 4:30. No, I'm lying. No later than 4 to get to my work at 6 o'clock. Now, if I left anything like 4:15, 4:30 in the morning, I was already late.
And that's crazy because that already makes your 8-hour workday a 12-hour shift.
Yeah, because you drive over there, and then on the way back, it's the same thing, but it doesn't matter because you're going home.
So that motorcycle would be good in Cali too.
Yeah. And then you're going home again, and then it takes another 2.5 hours. So you get off work at 5. By the time you get home, it's like around 7:30, 8 o'clock. By the time you eat dinner, settle down, relax, it's already time to go to sleep.
Go to bed and do it again.
Yep, over and over and over and over.
That's rough. I wouldn't be able to do that. I feel like my 20-minute commute is already enough for me.
Right?
Yeah, I talked a little bit about one thing I want to touch on is All Sports, my business.
That's right.
The lease that we had at that spot came up, and so we're in the process of moving to a new location, which is why we have a temporary studio.
La Baticueva.
Yeah, so that's one thing that I've been dealing with and getting everything moved out, and now looking for new places and new options. And I don't know, it feels good because now it opens up like the possibility of like, what else do I want to do? You know,
He wants to conquer the world.
conquer the world. And
Go on
then
motorcycle rides all day.
I wish.
So what do people do if they want to get a mouthguard right now? Are you doing anything, only appointments, or what's going on with that?
Yeah, right now we're just doing appointments for the time being. Hopefully, maybe within the next like month or so, we'll get like something locked down and can move into the new spot.
The new studio and everything like that?
The new studio, yeah.
And the All Sports.
Yeah, there's like a bunch of changes that which is why we haven't uploaded. For me, I started a new job, which has been going amazing. Like the
Congrats.
people, thanks, dude. The people that like the team that I have and like the company that I work for and everything is just like so aligned, and like everything seems like it's going in a good direction. And so it's crazy how life happens that way when like one thing, you know, like when it rains, it pours, right?
Right.
And
I always
so
say that.
within like a week or two, like time frame, I started a new job. I ended up moving out of the location that I had for All Sports. So there's a lot of different stuff going on, but also like the team that I had at my old job.
They miss you?
Yeah, dude. And it's been rough. I feel like it's almost like I went through like a breakup or something.
Oh, it feels like that when you have a good team and you leave, but you always have to think about yourself too. You know, you have to be a little bit selfish, right?
You have to.
But if you have a good team and you know you leave, it kind of hurts. Like I had that when I was working at this credit union. I had a good boss. My assistant manager was a pain in the ass. But then my team around it was really good. And then COVID happened. And then they wanted me to go help in other branches. So it kind of killed the synergy of my team. And when I came back, the synergy was gone and all chaos blew. And then people started leaving, especially my best manager. She ended up leaving. And then my other coworker ended up leaving. And so I was stuck there, and I decided to just run, you know. I just quit on the spot for some other reasons, and I did it like I even sent it up to like the CEO, like number 1, number 2, number 3, number 4, my resignation letter.
Really?
Because they knew me, I was going places. Not to be show off.
I think when you start seeing stuff like start to crumble, and that's like with my old job, it was the team was great, the people were great, like just everything was so cool. Even like the people that weren't on my team, there was like really good people that worked there, but the company itself didn't seem like it was going anywhere.
Right, you couldn't grow more.
Yeah, so
I know me and you like to grow. Remember when we were working together, we wanted to move up to the next level, and then you sabotaged us.
I feel like for me, my mind works that way, like where it's always challenging. Even in this new role that I'm in, the team that I have, you know, people get complacent and get comfortable. And so I'm coming in and I'm like a fresh set of eyes, and I'm coming from like a totally different experience, right? And so I come in and I'm like, all right, let's work. Like, let's get to it, and blah blah blah. And everybody's like, what? Like, no, we don't.
We don't do that.
Yeah, we like to take it easy here. And
Yeah,
I'm
right.
like, no, like let's.
No, it's so funny. I used to like it when they used to always like refer to the old supervisor. Oh, but the old supervisor used to do this, and the old supervisor used to do this, and I go, that's why he's no longer the supervisor.
Right.
You know, like there's a reason why they replaced them. You know, and some people were like so adamant. Well, he promised me this and this and this and that. I go, whatever he promised you, everything that he promised you walked away with him when he left. So I
Right.
can't know what he promised you. I don't know what he saw in you. You know, like it's crazy.
Yeah.
I mean, I give everybody the benefit of the doubt and I give them a chance until, they prove me wrong.
I just enjoy doing difficult things.
You just like being a dick too.
Me?
No, I'm just kidding.
I was gonna say, I feel like I'm like the chillest boss.
No, I don't know. I have never worked under you. So
As long as you're, doing your stuff. Like, one thing that just gets on my nerves is when people are lazy. Like when people.
So I get on your nerves.
Yeah, Johnny
Shut
gets
up.
on my nerves.
I'm hurt.
No, but I have those experiences where people are like, oh no, like I don't do that stuff. You tell them to do something, I don't do that. And I'm like, oh, well, you better get to doing it.
Right. And then they start hating you because you're making them work.
Yeah. And it's like, you're getting paid. For me, time flies when I'm busy and when I'm doing all this stuff. So for me to like sit at a desk, even like, in a leadership role, like I don't like to sit at a desk and stare at the computer. I know you have to a certain extent, which is kind of like the annoying part. But for me, I want to be out there with the troops.
Yeah. I mean, you lead by example, right? A good leader is getting there and getting dirty in the trenches, right? A bad leader is telling you like, do this, do that, do that. You give by example. And that's what I used to like to do. I used to like to motivate them. I used to like being nice to a certain extent. And, I could be nice, but I would call them out on their shit too. Like, hey, you know what? You're overstepping your boundaries. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, exactly. And so if I'm doing the job that nobody wants to do, then everybody else better get on board too.
Right? I mean, that's why I kind of don't want to work for no one. I kind of want to be self-employed and be self-sufficient,
Yeah, and I think that's like a good perspective to have. And I think everybody kind of wants that, right? Like I'm not everybody, but the majority of people kind of want to do that. The difference is like talking about it and saying you want to, and actually, what are you willing to sacrifice? Are you willing to sacrifice 4 hours out of your day after you get home, after your regular job, to like put time towards a business or to whatever it is that you're working on? Are you willing to like not take that vacation this year and invest that money into your business? Like, are you willing to do those things? And that's where people normally fall off. That's where people are like, no, that's not like where, I need that new car, or I need those new Jordans. And so there's so much money. I mean, myself included, I spend money on stuff that I shouldn't be. And I know better, but you also got to enjoy it a little bit. But I think that if you want to be self-employed, if you want to do anything like outside of the ordinary, outside of your 9 to 5, then you have to be doing extraordinary actions.
That is so true. Like nothing's going to come knocking on your door. Opportunity doesn't come knocking on your door, or a significant other's not going to come knocking on your door. You know what I'm saying?
Damn, you could have told me that earlier. I've been waiting.
Yeah, and that's not unless you order it through the internet, a mail order bride and shit.
From Russia? Straight from Russia?
Yeah, that's Bedanya.
No.
Anyways, what else do you want to talk about, Jay?
Let's see. I talked about the different changes that I'm going through.
What are you transitioning?
That's why I keep choking. No.
Yeah. You're taking them hormones, the estrogen.
No,
your voice is changing.
Is that? Maybe. I don't know.
No,
maybe those
kidding.
pills are working.
Right. Stop doing steroids.
But yeah, no, I've just been going through that, and so for me, it's been an awesome change, and I feel like this schedule gives me more freedom too that I have.
That's right.
This new schedule. So more motorcycle rides, more trips.
That's right. You've been going on trips lately, right?
Yeah, I've been going on trips, and like I said, I talked about it before. I have a friend in Dallas, and so
Dallas.
yeah, She's supposed to be coming out here, so that'll be cool too.
Oh, it's a she.
Yeah, I already told you that.
But they didn't.
No, we talked about it last time.
Okay.
We talked.
I forget what I did yesterday, dude.
Yeah,
It's that Alzheimer in me.
that's tough. But
How
yeah,
about-
a lot of good changes in life, and so for me, that's exciting. Like when stuff starts moving around and like all these new experiences, and I always like challenges. I always like being uncomfortable, and so like starting a new job and like having all these challenges, all these new things, this new team that I'm working with. I know there's going to be challenges and there's going to be difficult times, but for me, it's like that's what I enjoy.
Nice. That's good. For me too, I'm gonna have changes. Hopefully, I get a new body.
Yeah, we're gonna transplant Johnny's brain into
Like I want to be like RoboCop.
RoboCop.
No, anyways, but
If you could, like transition yourself.
wait,
right? Like,
what? No, transition.
No, hold
Oh,
on.
sorry, you scared me.
Like into another body, another human being, right? Whether it's a celebrity or athlete, whatever it is. Like, who would you choose?
Oh, that's a hard one. Who would I choose? Like a I don't know, to be honest. I would like to choose like just a healthy body and go back in time, and when everybody used to tell me take care of your body and don't do crazy stuff, because I did a lot of crazy stuff. Like I said, I would be all over the place, running, jumping from roof to roof, from garages to the
Parkour.
Yeah, well, I think I started parkour. No, but I was
Just
just
the
like
originator. In
no,
the
no.
80s?
I was just like, I don't know. It's just like I would go like riding I like riding my regular bikes, the BMX and all of those freestyle bikes, and doing ramps and stuff like that.
Yeah, but I told you, I think like the biggest thing is like your body. If you don't use it and you don't like aren't, and I get there's limitations, but you have to like strengthen your body in order to be able to move. Like I said, even myself, like sitting at a desk, like I'll get up and I'm like, oh, I feel super tight and like my bones are cracking and everything. So it's like about being aware and like making sure like your muscles, your body's like a vehicle too. So you have to do your maintenance and move around. You can't be just sitting in the same position. You can't be just,
No, yeah, I try to move around. I'm a trophy husband, so I sweep and clean but
do the dishes.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Cocino, lavo, plancho, pero
Domesticated. Johnny's been domesticated.
me sacan la mierda todo eso.
Yeah. That's why his
It kicks my ass.
That's why his body's fucked up, because he's doing dishes aggressively.
Right. I'm like making sure that all the grease is out of the pants.
Oh, that's funny.
And that's crazy. Hey, how about anyways, what do you think about P. Diddy?
I don't know, dude. That's wild. I mean,
He might get off.
really? I
Yeah.
don't keep up to date with any of that stuff.
God
dude.
damn, Jason, you're
Yeah,
becoming
any of
boring.
No, I'm sorry. I just don't have time for it. But
Like when you're like in some downtime and you have something to read or something like that, you don't want I like to just be a little bit.
no, I just feel like for me that like makes me feel dumber, like when I listen or pay attention to that stuff. So I like stuff that like motivates me, right? So if I'm on social media, like a lot of my stuff, like my algorithm is like motivating stuff, mental health stuff. I told you every now and then Instagram will throw some ass in there.
You don't want to see my algorithm.
Yeah. You sent me some stuff, I'm sure. But for me, like the time that I do have, I'll focus on some entertainment, but I feel like it's also like what interests me is like knowledge of like people's ideas or people sharing experiences, kind of like we're doing here. But obviously, like Joe Rogan is one of the podcasts that I listen to, and there's like a couple ones that are like focused on mental health that I listen to, and so my algorithms in life and like the time that I spend my free time, normally I'm consuming those kinds of things. Although I did start watching Ozark. Have you heard of that show? Have you watched it?
I heard of it, but I haven't seen it.
Dude, like the premise is like this dude that just like this regular white dude, like has a wife, 2 kids, like perfect family. But I think he like starts off, he was like an accountant or something like that. And he ends up in a position where he starts laundering money for like this Mexican cartel.
Oh, okay.
And then like it all just starts going south and there's like a bunch of crazy stuff happening. I'm only on the 2nd season. I think there's 4. But that's been pretty interesting. That's a show that I've been into. But I feel like shows is really hard for me to get into. So they have to be really good. Like I feel like Ozark is one. Any like of like the Viking shows on Netflix, I really enjoy.
I heard they're pretty good. I haven't seen those.
Those ones are for some reason I got super into.
I have them in my watch list.
But yeah, I mean, like I said, I consume things that I feel like are productive for me. So if I'm consuming videos about like P. Diddy, which they come up like on my feed, right? And I'm just skip past it. I don't really care.
Well, I kind of do.
I don't
because
care about the freak offs.
No, not about the freak offs, but I'm just seeing like, look at this guy. He has so much money, you know,
Right.
like it makes me feel better because like money's not everything. You know what I'm saying? So I see it in a different angle, you know, like it makes me feel a little bit better when I'm feeling down and thinking, man, I have a good significant other. I'm doing okay. I'm bouncing back up, and money's not everything, you know. I think just having good communication and having somebody to rely on, you know, it's always it's too, you know, I have a good partner. I've been noticing that I've been lucky.
That's good. I think that there's a lot of people that don't see that. There's a lot of people that take their partner for granted and they get complacent and they don't like appreciate, like, nobody's perfect, right? So there's going to be issues and problems. But once you stop appreciating the person that you're with is, I think, when like the issues come up for sure.
Right. That's what I'm saying. Like, and then, you know, like I always say, women have it easy. And nowadays you have the right to walk away from anything. You know, before it used to be very taboo, before you had to be very submissive. And now, you know.
And the thought, like for me, in regards to that, I feel like obviously I've been single for a while and
only 2 days, fool. Relax. I'm just kidding.
2 days, 2 long days.
Yeah, 2 long days. Didn't you break up with your girl like 2 days ago?
Yeah.
The new one?
Yeah. No, I haven't. I don't have a girl.
I'm just kidding.
But
it's a joke, fool. Like, God, so serious.
But what I was saying is when I look at like the big picture of like a relationship, I don't know, like there's part of me that's like, yeah, I would like to have somebody, right? To be with somebody and experience that. But part of me is also like, you know what? Like, sure, you could date and you could do whatever. But as far as getting into like a serious relationship, it almost doesn't seem like the juice is worth the squeeze.
No, I hear you. Like I always tell you, I'm happy that I have a significant other. And I mean, you're still young, you know, but me, my old ass, and being all brittle like Mr. Glass.
Yeah.
To start all over, and then I don't meet the 666.
For me, I just think like I just focus on getting my own money, you know, building my own stuff. And then leaving it at that. That way, nobody could take, nobody gives, nobody takes. Like I'm where I'm at because of myself.
No, exactly. But I'm saying that I see it out there. Like people do crazy stuff for money.
Yeah,
you know, like
yeah,
I love you, and then like the freak off and getting crazy, and you know you're getting beat up, and like. You like these millionaires, right? Like P. Diddy, Weinstein, and everything like that. Like P. Diddy will pay someone else to have sex with their partner, and he would be there watching. Like how
what do you think like causes them to get to that point?
It's just, I guess they have too much money that they get bored and they don't know what to do. They get too many females, they don't know what to do.
Yeah, that's what I think. It gets to the point where I'm
like
assuming
everything excessive.
I'm assuming, I haven't been there, but I'm assuming like you have so much money, you're obviously Puff Daddy, right?
P. Diddy now.
Nah, he's still always remember him as Puff.
Retired and then became P. Diddy.
But he's obviously been doing this for decades now, right?
Right.
And so he has the money. He's famous. He probably like gets whatever he wants as far as like women or I mean anything in general with that amount of money.
Oh, el dinero te hace ver bonito. Money makes you look beautiful.
Yeah, and so he probably got to the point where he was like, man, all this stuff is boring.
Let's start a freak off.
Let's do some baby oil freak offs.
Right? Imagine Johnson & Johnson is fucking sad that they put him away and shit. His top buyers.
He's over there sponsoring his events. This is sponsored by Johnson & Johnson.
Right?
This slip and slide is sponsored by Johnson & Johnson.
Imagine it was a Hispanic freak off. Canola oil.
Canola oil.
Masola.
Manteca and shit.
Masola.
What would it be what would a freak off be called in Spanish?
Desmadre.
Thought you were gonna come up with something better than that.
Sorry, I don't know, but I was just imagining a Hispanic freak off. Well, yeah, that would be a good name. What would you call a Hispanic freak off?
Yeah, let us know what would in the comments because I have no good ideas.
Right. But anyways, I'm thinking nowadays, run away, man.
Run away from what?
From like shit, like you're like being forced to do things that you don't want to do.
Yeah, but easier said than done, because if you're a girl that's obviously not in a financial place like he is, you're probably there. I mean, you might like him or whatever, but you're there for the money or whatever, and you're dealing with a bunch of other, like, you're willing to deal with more issues than if it were just a regular dude.
Yeah, but to what certain extent? To the
I
point
agree.
where they break you and then you are mentally messed up, and then you can't give another person another chance, and then you do all these crazy things, and then you realize you're doing bad, and then you go back and now you want to take care of it. You know what I'm saying? It's like it's a double-edged sword. I don't get it, where now you're suing the guy and you're telling, oh, I didn't do this, but then like they have messages of the girls like, oh, he made me do this and this and that, and then later on they're like, I miss you, I love you. You know?
Yeah, some of the situations that I've dealt with, people are insane. Honestly, like when I think
We're
about
living
it,
in a crazy world.
yeah, we do live in a crazy world where people are like in a place where it's just insanity for me, my perception of it. So, but yeah, I mean, I think like one aspect is, you know, you're young and like obviously everybody's
full of cum.
Yeah, I'm sure everybody's made like decisions and actions that maybe weren't the best. And so obviously looking back at it, especially if it's like a public thing, like with the whole whatever Puff Daddy thing, then you look at it and you're like, well, yeah, I did that and it probably wasn't the best decision. I can see that because I look back at a lot of stuff that I did and I'm like, not a great decision, but it is what it is. But then you're put in a position where you're like, well, this is public. The whole world knows my business that I was at the freak offs, right?
Right.
Why not get financially compensated for it?
Yeah, but
If everybody, like obviously everybody else is throwing their hat in the ring, so
yeah, that's crazy. I mean, it is what it is, but I'm telling you, money's not everything too. Money is the root of all evil. That's why I like being broke.
nah, I don't necessarily think that.
Are we gonna go to McDonald's and get that dollar menu?
Yeah, I'm down.
Anyways, any good comments on the last good shows that you made with oh my god, what was the
With Dominico.
No,
Salas.
Dominico, and the first one was
Lehigh?
Lehigh. I'm sorry, I was thinking Eli, but it was Lehigh. Sorry, I my brain sometimes don't work.
No, yeah, we got some comments on YouTube. Rhino Man, shout out to Rhino Man. Really quick, I don't know if I've talked about this before, but Rhino Man is somebody that I know, and this dude, like I got to know him and I've talked to him several times, but he's working on this book.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, and I don't want to say too much about it, but he sent me some of like part of the book and of what he's writing, and it's super interesting. And
Is it like fiction?
Yeah,
or is it
it's-
something personal? Or
it's super fiction.
oh, okay, that's
like-
cool.
Yeah, it's like, I don't know. I found it like the parts that when I was reading it, I was like, that sounds amazing. Like it sounds crazy. And I even told him, I'm like, that sounds like it should be a movie. But Rhino Man, if hopefully you're still working on that book.
No
and-
work in that book.
Yeah, get to work on the book, and then I told him like, let me know when it's published because I would want to read it. I'm not into like sci-fi like that, but yeah, Johnny's a perfect candidate.
Right.
But
Did you take your kids to, before you go on the comments, did you go take your kids to see Lilo and Stitch?
Yeah, I did.
It was pretty awesome. I liked it.
I
Fell asleep.
Yeah, I already told Johnny. I fell asleep. I don't know. It was too long for me. Like they draw out that story so much. I ended up taking like a 15-minute power nap.
You and Ronnie are the worst people to go to movies with. You guys just go there to sleep.
Let me tell you something. Everybody listen.
That's boring. I
For
enjoy
us that work.
Oh, throwing daggers now, huh?
Yeah, for us that work. Johnny gets his 10 hours of sleep every night, but for us that
12,
are out,
12, make
12 hours of sleep every night. So
maybe 16. I don't know.
For us out here working, I'm running off 3 hours of sleep today. So I'm just saying, different strokes for different folks. It was cool, but I don't like long, drawn out movies. And I feel like that movie was extremely drawn out. Maybe it was just me.
Didn't you just like seeing the happiness on your kids? I was enjoying just watching my kids enjoy it.
Yeah.
And don't you think being a house husband is hard? A trophy husband?
Oh, man, I'm getting flashbacks. Don't bring that up, please.
Yeah, don't you think it's freaking hard, dude? Wash, lavar. I try to do it. Take out the dogs, pick up the kids from school, go grocery shopping.
What are you talking about, dude? I'm single. I work and I'm a single mother.
You're a single father.
I know.
And a mother. Yeah, but okay. We'll get into it later because we're running out of time.
I cook and clean, baby.
Yeah. Okay, let's go take a live video, and see how clean. No, I'm just kidding.
Exactly. Okay, so back to Rhino Man's comment. He says, "Happy birthday, Dom. A bit late, but better late than never. Thanks for sharing and absolutely go for your dreams. I started writing a book." Oh, see? I didn't even read this before. So he talks about his book. I started writing a book, and it's been on and off. It's been an on and off relationship since the late 90s, but now I'm back in and hitting every day, and I'll finish it this year. Getting discouraged does happen, but if you try, just push through that. You will do something that you didn't think you could do. Appreciation to you and the podcast for all the positive and encouragement.
Oh, you know what this reminds me of?
What?
I just recently finished seeing New Girl. It's a comedy. It's cool comedy, but one of the main guys there, he's a good writer, and it took him years to write his book. And when he finally writes his book, he comes up. So that's pretty cool. You should do it.
There you go, Rhino Man.
Look at New Girl, and it's gonna motivate you.
That's a sign. Eli commented on.
He's shooting another movie, by the way.
That's awesome. Shout out to Eli. He commented on Lehi's podcast that we had. He put, "I finally got a moment to listen to this episode, and I'm so glad I did. Lehi is an inspiration. It's evident he has an exceptionally strong work ethic and clearly inspires the many lives he touches. Break a leg in your acting endeavors, and may the last fight of your career be victorious and continue to inspire others. Way to be the man we all needed as kids and young adults." Dude, Lehi, the way he articulates himself, or not Lehi, Eli, the way he articulates himself is impressive. Like his comments and the messages, I feel like I like the way he expresses himself.
Eli, shout out to Eli. We need to go eat some Peruvian food.
Let's do it, dude. We'll have a throwback.
That's right. I found a buffet, by the way.
Oh, really?
Yep. Está rico. It's good, man. It's good.
Let's see. I think these other ones we already got to. The other comments we already read. But if you're watching us on YouTube or on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, go ahead and leave us a comment. Share any thoughts or ideas. Once again, it's Men's Mental Health. If you're struggling with your mental health, go talk to a professional. Listen to a podcast. If you don't have or you're like, "Jason, what podcast do I listen to?" Comment. I will respond and I'll let you know what podcasts I listen to, or maybe what videos or books, different tools for you to help you with your mental health struggles. If you can't talk to a professional, obviously that's pretty pricey, right?
Well, if you have insurance, talk to your insurance. Sometimes they give you so many sessions before you had to start paying up front. So if you have insurance or you're going to get insurance, make sure that they focus on mental health. That's what I did.
There you go. So talk to your insurance. If not, there's so many like tools out there for free. And like I said, even social media, if you follow the right accounts, you can get a lot of positivity. You can get a lot of like mental health updates and quotes and information on a daily basis through your social media. Podcasts is another big thing. Books, audio books.
Yeah, come on the show.
Come on the show. Let's talk about it.
Or shoot the shit. You know, we want to make it funny too. And one thing that I want to say, please look out for the motorcycle people.
Look out for the motorcycle people. That might be me or Johnny out there.
Yo, hasta un rato.
But yeah, just wanted to share that and focus on like being okay. Focus on like truly listen to yourself, listen to your thoughts, get in touch with how you're feeling, get in touch with your surroundings and how you, life is about perception, the way you perceive everything. So life just is, there is no good or bad. There's people that are dying to be in the position you're in today. So if you look at it that way and you understand like how fortunate we are and what a great situation you're in, and not stop focusing on like everybody else, right? Like what the neighbor's doing or what your cousin's doing, whatever. Focus on yourself, show gratitude. And with all those tools, like I think that every day it's going to be a battle. It's not going to be like a light switch. A lot of people think it's just like a day and night, right? Like a light switch. Every day it's a battle. You have to reprogram your mind. You have to like feed yourself positivity and positive thoughts. And you're still going to have those thoughts from the past come up. Those feelings come up, but getting the help, and nobody's going to be able to do it for you. So you have to do it for yourself. You have to take the initiative. And you know, we spend so much time on social media or watching Netflix and all these things that you could be doing something for your mental health if that's what you're struggling with. Or in business, right? There's a lot of time and money that's being distributed, and you have a business or you have a business idea that you're not working towards. Just like Rhino Man says, you know, his book, he's been writing it since the 90s. So we definitely, like myself included, like we fall off and we get distracted and we lose our motivation, but it's just about pushing through it and chasing those dreams, chasing your goals. Is there anything else you wanted to say?
Behind every good man, there's a good woman, and make
Except
sure that
for
you,
me.
yeah, but communicate, and like I'm at my point that I just want peace and happiness and focus on the future and not live in the present.
Did you say that right?
Kind of, but I don't like. I prefer to not like focus on how am I gonna get better in the future. So like a lot of people get stuck in the present, like what I could do now or whatever, you know. So you know what?
So you focus on the future?
Yeah.
I think and we can have different perceptions on this, but I think the point is to focus on the present moment, because if you're focused on the future, you don't know what that's going to look like. You could wake up tomorrow and be 100% healthy, right? And nothing hurts. Like, so focusing on the present moment and what you could do today is all you have control of. You don't have control of the future. You don't have control if you walk out this door and you get hit by a bus.
No, I know, but what I'm saying is just like think ahead of things that you want to do. You know, be positive, plan. You know.
Yeah, but what like with planning into the future, all you have is right now. So all you can do is what you're going to do right now. So you can have stuff like I want to start a business, for example. Let's use that for an example. You can't do anything right now like focusing on the future. All you could do is right now. So if it's a business, what can you do right now? Planning, right? Like maybe get a business plan or research the market or whatever it is that you need to start maybe trying to get funds or how you're going to finance, whatever. Start today, and like today you'll set the foundation up for what you'll be in the future.
Yeah, that's what I was trying to say. Sorry.
That's what I was trying to say.
So I messed up. Sorry.
No, you're good.
I get stage fright.
It's all right. But yeah, we're out of here, guys. Remember to love yourself. I appreciate you listening. Like and comment, and we'll continue to put these podcasts out there for you guys.
Peace out.